What's up guys? Jake with Legacy 4x4 here again, and today we are going to be working on my new to me 24-foot gooseneck trailer. So I went ahead and bought a trailer a couple weeks ago, and today we're going to be doing most of, not quite all of the rehab to it and the kind of like fixing it up of it and adding a few things that I like to have on all of my trailers. So with that said, let's go and get started. Alright, so I picked up this trailer from an auction near me, one of the big like midsummer heavy equipment auctions. It is a 24 total foot gooseneck trailer. It's got a 19-foot top deck and then a 5-foot dovetail. It is a 2-axle and both axles are dually, so it is an 8-wheel trailer. Don't exactly know what it's rated for, but the axles are both 9,000 pound axles, so it should be rated for about 18 to 20,000 pounds, which is obviously way more than what I need for my purposes. For the most part, this trailer will haul one of my trucks and maybe Matt's side by side if we're going somewhere. The real thing is I sold my smaller car trailer because it wasn't quite big enough for the size of trucks that I have. I could fit them on there, but it wasn't the best way to haul them. It wasn't quite as heavy duty as I wanted it to be for hauling these trucks across the country. So I wanted to get a bigger one. I've got an F350 now, so I wanted to have a gooseneck because I think goosenecks tow better and I think they handle a lot better. So I wanted to get up to a gooseneck for sure. Anyways, I picked this thing up at the auction and it's in pretty good condition overall, but it's missing a few of the components that I do like to have on trailers, as well as it is not too rusty, but it could definitely use a paint job. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to start with painting it. So I'll take you guys out to the trailer and I'll show you the way the trailer is, the way I got it. And then we're going to start by taking off all of the lights, wiring harness, the wheels, etc. And we're going to go through and put a coat of paint on this trailer. So I'm going to be using Summit Racing's single stage paint again. It's the same paint that I've used on my 2 other trucks. I do like this paint. It lays down really easily and it creates a very nice coating on the material. In addition to that, I do have a Harbor Freight Apex winch here, a 6,000 or 5,500 pound Apex winch here. So we're going to be installing this Apex winch. We've got a new front wiring harness. I'm going to reuse the harness that's actually on the trailer itself, but I got a new 7-pin connector with a junction box. We got a trailer breakaway system because where I live, it's required that you have a trailer breakaway system on a trailer that weighs more than 2,000 pounds. I like it too. I mean, if the trailer were ever to fall off and slam backwards or like get disconnected from the truck, I do like the idea of having something that will at least hopefully slow it down a little bit. Obviously it's going to wreck my truck's tailgate. That is what it is. But if I can at least minimize the damage to the trailer, to anything it's hauling, and minimize damage to my truck would be nice. Got some new lights, new tail lights, new side marker lights, and a couple other small accoutrements up here, and some safety chains. So let me take you guys out to the trailer. We'll start with that. We'll walk around the trailer, show you guys what we got, and then we will start stripping this trailer apart. All right, so here is our trailer. There's Brittany. She's out inspecting it with me. This is the company that I bought it from, ATM Auction and Realty. It's in Monroe, North Carolina, if you're ever looking for an auction stuff. So this is, we'll just start with this. I mean, this is the worst kind of stuff that's on the trailer. It's got this like some kind of rust, mildewy stuff. It looks like the stuff that comes on boats, little barnacle beads. Anyway, so this, we'll clean all that stuff off before we paint it. Has a big chain loop. I'm going to take that off and replace it with standard style safety chains. There's the gooseneck. It is not adjustable front gooseneck, but it is pretty heavy duty. The whole trailer is pretty heavy duty overall. The wiring harness needs to be replaced already. As you can see, the 7-pin is broken. This is an old wire, so we're going to replace this front end of this wiring harness. Here's the front of the trailer, as you can see. Pretty nicely built. I was told it was a homemade trailer, but it is pretty nicely built. It looks like it was made on a jig. And these are all really nice, strong, heavy-duty components. We've got the jack arm out. The biggest thing, and what I really liked about this trailer, is it has this metal deck. And so I like this because metal actually weighs less than wood, if you could believe it or not. This type of metal weighs less than wood, so I was really excited to find that. I think it'll be nice too, because then if I come off a trail with a dirty truck, I could conceivably just spray the truck down and not coat my trailer in mud and things. We're gonna add the winch up there in that area. It has a plate for it already, so it's gonna get added up there. As you can see, we've got 4 tires on each side because we got dualies. The tires are in pretty decent condition. They've got tread, just a little bit of dry rot. They do eventually need to be replaced, but I'm not going to replace those right away. Down there you can kind of see the way the suspension works. You got these little stake pockets down here. Nice big heavy ramps. These things are heavy as all hell. They're very heavy. The lights are back below those. You can't see them with the ramps down, but we got lights. Walking you guys up here, so you can see the way this all looks. And there's the F-350. Alright, so I forgot to record me pressure washing this thing, but I got it completely pressure washed and mostly clean. It's not perfect, but I'm not going to sit here and do the crazy prep that some people do. This is a trailer, it doesn't need to be that serious. So anyways, we've got the whole thing pressure washed, all the wheels off. I've got the ramps up on jack stands so I can get back behind it where the lights are and back on the full side of the ramps. I've got the whole trailer ready to go. It's completely dry. I've let it sit outside for about 2 hours now, so it is completely dry and ready to be painted. Nope, I gotta come take this off. Yeah, all right, I gotta grab a razor blade and take that off, but otherwise it is ready to be painted. So let's go inside and I'll show you guys the paint and we'll set up the gun. All right, so to do this paint job, we're gonna use the best paint gun that money can buy, and that is the $10 Harbor Freight cheapest paint gun that they sell. Now, in front of me, I have my Devil Bliss paint gun that I did a really bad job of cleaning last time I used it when I painted the Bronco, and it's completely ruined. I didn't feel like buying another decent gun, like another expensive gun, so I just bought one of these $10 ones. As far as I'm concerned, these things are practically disposable. You can get one good use out of them, and then they're straight to the trash. So we're gonna use this. Now, to do this, like I said, I'm gonna use Summit Racing's single stage paint again. I got just a matte satin, it's a satin black color for that. I'm gonna mix it the same way I've mixed it before, which is 4-to-1 activator, or sorry, 4-to-1 paint to activator. Give it a good mix, pour it in the paint cup, and start spraying. So pretty simple, straightforward process. I'm gonna go ahead and mix up that paint and then go out there and I'll show you guys painting the trailer, and then we'll get through installing the rest of these components. So I'm kind of skipping a lot of the paint stuff. You'll see a little bit of me painting it, but we got a lot more stuff to do today, so I'm trying to move forward pretty quickly with this. We got a lot of things that I want to install on this trailer that are gonna make it really capable and really a very complete package for a trailer behind my truck. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So we got the trailer completely painted. I know it was a relatively short time lapse. We got other stuff to do, so I'm not gonna dwell too much on just painting the trailer. You guys have seen me paint before. If you want a more in-depth look at how I paint stuff, you can look either at the Commando or the Broncos paint videos. I do usually paint my own vehicles and my own projects. I don't like doing it, but it's gotta happen. You gotta paint stuff, and I'm not gonna pay for somebody else to do it for me. Anyways, that Harbor Freight gun worked really well for the one time I'm going to use it, but well worth the $9 to me. So let's go ahead and get started on installing some new parts. So the first thing that I need to install, or that I want to install, because I want to get the big stuff off of my welding table here as quickly as possible. So I'm going to do a lithium battery. The same batteries, I have 2 of them in the Bronco. I'm going to put one of them on another one. I have a third one. I'm going to put a third one on the trailer. That battery is going to be used to run the winch. I'm going to add on some lights to the trailer, like some white lights at the front of it, so that I can illuminate the trailer bed if I need to for some reason. And what other else? Oh, the trailer breakaway kit, and a couple other small things are going to run off of that lithium battery. I'm also going to charge that lithium battery using a small trickle charger. So I got a really, really small solar panel and a really small trickle charger that I'm going to put on the top of the trailer as well, and I'm going to use that to run the battery, so to give it like a constant charge, hopefully so that it just stays maintained. Now to store all of this stuff, not the solar panel, but to store all the battery and all the other electrical components mounting the trailer, I picked up 2 of these. These are Harbor Freight's attempt at like the Milwaukee pack-out type stuff. They're just a hard ABS plastic box. They're waterproof. They're designed to hold tools in, but they happen to fit the front of my trailer really well. Ideally, they fit right next to where the front jack is for the trailer. So I'm going to do some underslung trailer storage boxes, some metal ones, but I figured these are cheap, these are easy, and they were at Harbor Freight when I went to go pick up the spray gun, so I figured I'll use these. So I'm just going to bolt these into the front tongue of the trailer. So let me just go ahead and get these bolted up, and then we'll start installing some battery components. Alright, so kind of skipping around a little bit here. I've got some of the stuff on the front of the truck done. Let me show you what this looks like. So coming up here, this is the solar panel. It's a little flimsy, but I'm going to call that shock absorption and suspension so that this never gets damaged. I tucked it up in here because I didn't want anything to hit it. I didn't want it to be in the way of anything else. So I was like, that's a pretty good spot to put it. So installed right there. It should get plenty of sunlight. It's just a trickle charger. I've got my little Bower box. I was only able to put one of them on there. The other one fits there, but it's unable to open. And then this is unable to rotate due to it being just too tight of a fit. I've got one of our Renogy 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries in here. You can see I've got the solar charger wire running down here through this conduit and then down and into the box. This little waterproof connector is what I'm using to seal the box to keep it waterproof, or at least mostly waterproof. This is going to go to my lights, which you can see up there. Coming around to this side, let the camera adjust. You can see I put the light bar there, and then I put the 2 pod lights up at the top of the trailer. That'll give it full illumination to the back of the trailer if I need to like load something at night or something like that. So that is what the front of the trailer is looking like so far. I've got this off at the moment. I'm going to actually powder coat the handle something. I just haven't decided what color yet. And then I've got my new 7-pin wire ran. It runs through back here behind this conduit stuff and into the junction box. I was originally going to reuse the wiring that was on the back of the trailer, but it ended up being junk. So I need to order some new wire, but I've got the junction box installed, so when it comes time to put the new wire in, I'll just tie it all into the junction box, run it through these little pieces of 1-inch square, and run it down the length of the trailer. Mostly using bolts and nuts to tie everything in so that it's removable if I need to in the future. You can see how that paint job came out. I'm pretty happy with it, considering it was just 1 gallon of paint. I did not have enough paint to do the deck, so I might come back through, and I'm thinking about rolling on some bed liner material on the deck just to give it a nice grippy surface for loading trucks and things on. But I got the frame rails all painted. I got the lower frame rails all painted, so that's looking nice. Next, I'm going to go up and install my lights. Got to install my lights on my side markers. I'm going to do 4 on each side, do my rear lights, and start doing some stickers. So I'm going to just go kind of roll around a little bit here and get some more stuff done. But I'm liking the way it's shaping up. In case you don't remember, we got most of the trailer done. I added some DOT reflective tape. I added a big Legacy 4x4 sticker on both sides, the requisite not for hire tags, some other random stickers, and traced it down the whole length of the trailer. Haven't replaced the tires yet. Those are going to be coming up soon. Probably not going to do that in this video because these tires are expensive. They do need to be replaced though, so these are going to get replaced eventually. I added some mud flaps to the back, and you can't really see it, but I lasered on Legacy 4x4 onto the top of those mud flaps. You can't see it because this blocks all of it, but that's down there if you look close enough. Got to do brakes and stuff on the trailer. Again, that's going to come later, but this is how it's looking, covered in pine straw. Moving up to the front, we've got our 6,000 pound winch up there with an oversized winch cover on it because that's just the one I had. We've got our 3 lights, so we're going to do 3 lights that are going to get tied into the solar system that will allow me to illuminate the back of the trailer if I have something on it at night or something happens. Let's see, we've got to powder coat this arm still. Up here we have our battery box with our battery on the inside of it. Started running some of the wires. We got the solar panel mounted. You can see the back of the winch up there. So the idea is the solar panel is going to trickle charge this battery, and then that battery is going to be what runs the lights and runs the winch, with an option of shore charging it, obviously, if necessary. These are all just bolted straight into the frame there. We've got, this is the switch for the lights here. So this is going to control the lights. I'm going to mount the winch control switch next to it. I just need to find a way to do it. Added this little high lift jack that I stole from Matt. It's big enough to get the dovetail of the trailer lifted, so I could lift from one side of the dovetail to change a tire if I had to. I'm going to carry a bottle jack too, though, don't worry. I will be carrying a bottle jack with me and a couple other recovery things along with it. I mounted one of these boxes. We're going to go talk about those in a minute. Before I do the other one, let's see. I think that's about it. So we've got making good progress. We got some more stuff to do. So let's go back inside. This is the next thing we're going to do. So I will talk to you guys about these boxes, and then we'll keep on working. All right, so you guys just saw one of the boxes already installed on the trailer out there. These are from Arcsin. I got them on Amazon. They're like $130 a piece for the 24-inch version of them. They do have larger sizes if you wanted a larger size though. My goal with these are kind of like truck toolboxes, right? They are waterproof. They lock, if I had them locked. They open down and out though, and then they've got the seal up here, making them waterproof. And a black diamond plate finish. They've got a silver finish as well if you'd rather a silver. So my idea basically, right, so I want to be able to carry around some basic tools, straps, and things like that. So you need to have a storage box. I was originally going to do another one of those little black Bauer toolboxes there, but it didn't clear on the other side of where I have the battery box because of the jack's circle, the shaft for the jack to jack the trailer up. So I decided to go this route instead. Now it's a little more expensive. I wish I could have found like a cheap plastic version of this, but they don't make them, at least none that I could find that were realistically any cheaper than these metal aluminum ones. So these aluminum ones are like 130 shipped, not too bad. I did 2 of them. Could have probably got away with just 1 of them for the space that I need, but I have OCD and I couldn't stand having just 1 box on one side of it, so I got 2 of them. I'm gonna do 1 on each side of it so the trailer looks symmetrical. The one on the driver's side stores my straps, and let's see, it's got straps, it's got the ball for the gooseneck actually that goes onto the truck. It's gonna have some, it's got my vehicle straps, regular ratchet straps, some chains and things like that in it. So basically, the driver's side is gonna have all of the hookup equipment, all of the stuff you need to tie down a load, all the stuff to hook it up to the truck itself. That way I don't have to have the ball in my truck all the time. If I'm not towing that trailer, I'm obviously not gonna need the ball. This one, which is going on the passenger side, is going to have all my recovery equipment. So this is going to have a bottle jack, a set of hand tools, maybe eventually a set of power tools for the lug nuts, a couple other random things, you know, your random sockets, wrenches, screwdrivers, etc., so I can do minor repairs to the trailer if, say, I took like a flat tire or multiple flat tires. Since there's 8 wheels or 8 tires, I would have to take multiple for the trailer to really be like stuck on the side of the road. But it gives me the option to do some repair if necessary, if I get somewhere and I've got some kind of a minor repair that has to be made. It also give me something to carry around on the truck in case like whatever vehicle I'm loaded on it needs a repair. Say it gets a flat tire on the trailer or something. So this is where I'm going to store all of my hand tools and random accoutrements that I don't bring on the vehicles themselves. So to mount these, the underside of my trailer is, my trailer's all C-channel, and so the underside of it I can easily just drill through and just bolt these into place. I know, not the most secure thing, but if somebody really wanted to, they can come up and they could try to unbolt these from the trailer and walk away with the box. If you're that motivated, you can have it. So these are just going to get bolted into place with some, I think I'm going to be using 7/16 grade 8 hardware along with some lock nuts and lock washers. So it should work. Honestly, I'm just using excess hardware that I have. I've got on my table all of my bins out so that I can just try to find what I've got. I didn't want to go buy anything else for it. So I'm going to take this out there and bolt this into the trailer, and then the next step is going to be wiring. So I know I'm skipping a lot of stuff. I'm not really going into too much detail showing you guys a lot of the work. We got a lot of stuff to cover on this trailer. I will talk more about wiring when we move on to that. So let me go get this installed. All right, so you guys can see we've got everything up front all wired up. We've got the solar panel wired, we've got the winch wired, we've got the lights wired, and then over on this side, you can't really see as the camera adjusts here a little bit, but the winch control, this is hardwired, so winch works. This is the winch plug if you wanted to use the dongle remote, and then this is the light switch. Can't really see the lights are on, I promise. So everything works, all those lights work. Everything is wired into this Bauer control box here, as you can see. And we've got everything wired into this, so all the relays, all the controls, etc., are shoved into this box out of the elements and out of the way. I do have this pretty big hole here that I'm probably going to 3D print something for. I have these big waterproof mounts, but they're too small for like these big bundles of wire, so some of them just had to have holes drilled. But everything's wired, so we got that. Now we are working on the actual trailer wiring. So up here I have the breakaway box. This is the breakaway system for the trailer. Basically the way it works is from this little pin, there's this lanyard and there's a connector in here. This connector pulls out if you pull on it hard enough, and it will make contact with the two wires in there, completing the circuit, causing the trailer brakes to lock up. So when the trailer brakes lock up, it's supposed to slow down the trailer in the event that this ever pops off of the back of the truck. So realistically, it won't save my tailgate if this trailer breaks off, but it will hopefully stop the trailer and save the load on it, ideally. So anyways, now we got to wire up the rest of the trailer. So we've got, these are for the breakaway switches. Everything else is going to get ran down the back of the trailer from this junction box. I enjoy using junction boxes. They're relatively cheap and they're much easier to do than like making a whole harness from scratch. I am going to make a harness from scratch, but I just have to screw in the different terminal connectors up to here pretty simply. So let's I'm going to bring the tools out here and we're going to get going. Okay, so after what has felt like a week of wiring, because it has been about a week of wiring, no joke, this did take me like 4 straight days of wiring. Part of that is because I wasn't working full days on it, because frankly it is very annoying to do that amount of wiring. Especially on the trailer where you're like sitting in that like half sat up position, because it's not low enough to be on your back and it's too tall to be standing up or to be like in a fully seated position. So you're doing like that half sit up where you're doing all the wiring. Huge pain in the butt, but it's all finished now. The trailer and all the auxiliary stuff is fully wired. So we've got all 5 amber markers on each side. We've got the four different tail lights. We've got reverse lights. We've got license plate lights. We've got brakes. We've got auxiliary power, and we have the whole trailer wired. In addition to that, we also have the solar panel wired. We have the 3 night lights wired as well, so that if I have to do something at night, I have lights on the trailer, white light on the front of the trailer. We got the winch wired. We've got all the winch controls wired. Everything is wired and done up. In addition to that, we also got the boxes mounted. We got the high lift mounted. We've got the bottle jacks. Everything else is in there on the trailer where it belongs. We're still missing a few components, but those will come later in the future. Now on to the next thing. We've got like 3 things left to do. I've got to powder coat the front handle. I'm going to powder coat it a red color to kind of match some of the other accent pieces on the trailer, and then eventually I'm going to powder coat the rims on the trailer red as well. I think red, maybe black and red. Haven't decided yet. Whenever I get new tires for the trailer, which it does desperately need. We've got to do that. We've got to make a VIN plate for it, and we've got to make a, alright, so the trailer's on a center block right now. So the trailer, the jack on the front of the trailer does not have enough lift in it to get into the bed of my truck. Now, when I'm towing it, it is almost perfectly flat. It has a slight upward rake on it. It's a really low trailer, actually, and my F350 has a very tall bed on it. So it fits into the bed of the truck just fine. It just doesn't clear the ball that I have in the truck. So I've got the OEM gooseneck hitch in my truck, so like the thing that goes underneath the bed, and then I've got a B&W ball that goes on top of it, and that sticks up quite a few inches. So it doesn't quite clear that when it's on the ground. It misses by about 3 inches. Now, I have it on a cinder block right now in order to give it that extra couple inches of lift that it needs to clear my truck easily and make use of the trailer jack. Now, I keep breaking cinder blocks, so I'm on like my third one already. Fortunately, I had a bunch of them laying around, but I'm on like my third cinder block already. So I want to make something that's a little bit more durable. It's going to be a piece of steel, like a lifted up piece of steel. We're going to make it out of scrap metal here in a second, to put underneath this, to carry along with the trailer, and to serve this purpose. So hopefully I stop breaking cinder blocks. So we're going to make that next. Now, I don't have a plan for this really. I have a bunch of scrap in the shop. I'm going to use whatever scrap I can find to try to make a really durable, simple steel lift plate. The reason why I'm doing a secondary like a cinder block type system instead of just extending the jack or lowering the jack. First off, I don't want to lower the jack because it is fully welded into the front of my trailer. The jack works. I don't want to gouge out all of that welding just to move the jack down 6 inches. I don't want to do something that's fixed onto the base of the trailer because I want it to have as much ground clearance as possible. So when it's all the way in the extended up position or in the collapsed up position, it sits just at about where my boxes are on the trailer, which is perfect, but I don't want to have something else sitting another 6 inches farther down, liable to catch on stuff. I have the boxes on the side of the trailer for the purpose of throwing things inside of it, so we can easily throw a mounting plate into the side of the boxes, put it up underneath the trailer when I don't need it, and put it in the boxes when I'm hauling the trailer around. So let's go ahead and get started on that. I'm gonna just dig around in my scrap bin, find some stuff, and then I will show you guys what the plan is. It's not super pretty, but it will do the job. So I basically used 2 pieces of, I think that's 2-inch quarter wall link mount tube, and then a couple pieces of, let's see, I got a piece of like 1 or 2 by 3 eighth and 2 by 2 eighth. So it's just some scrap. It's literally just a spacer bracket to hang underneath the trailer. I'm gonna let this cool down and we're gonna powder coat this along with the handle and some other stuff, but this will work just fine. I know it looks like there might be some space here for it to like deflect a little bit, and it very likely might deflect a little bit, but the center support brackets, the vertical pieces, are tall enough and wide enough apart from each other to take up the whole space of the trailer jack itself. So even if the little pieces of thin steel deflect, the structure of it's gonna be just fine. And I mean, truly, if this ever ends up breaking, I've always got cinder blocks, or I can make this again out of something that's not just scrap metal. But I think this will work just fine for a quick little spacer project. So let's get this thing powder coated and get it up underneath the trailer and powder coat the handle and make a vent plate. So we got this all finished up now. I will walk you guys out to the trailer. We'll do a complete walkthrough of the trailer as it sits completely finished, and then we will close out this video. But before we do that, looking in front of me here, we have the VIN plate sitting here. I haven't lasered it yet. I'm gonna laser it later. I'm trying to get this video done and published for you guys, so this will get lasered and put on the trailer in the future. And then over here, we have our little stand that we made for the front of the trailer. Now, the powder coat on this didn't turn out completely perfect, partially because I didn't do any cleaning on the steel prior to powder coating it. I just sent it. Again, it's just a kind of pretty much disposable little stand made out of some scrap metal. So I just sent it on it. The parts of it that came out good look good, but there are certain parts of it that don't look great. Anyways, let me take you guys out to the trailer and I'll walk you guys around the trailer as it sits now, and then we'll close out this video.
All right, there it is, all finished up. Stepping over a vine here. You guys have already seen all this front piece. I do want to do something with these, change these out away from just a singular bolt that's holding this on. Might weld on a big bracket, might do some additional stuff. That's how it was before. I'm going to leave it like that for now. We've got all of our DOT tape, and up here we have the breakaway system, and then behind it you can see the solar system, and then here's the breakaway switch and chain for it hanging down to tie in with the safety chains. Plug for the trailer sits here, kind of just wrapped around this front beam. Of course, had to do the nice big Legacy 4x4 logo on the side of it. On this side we mounted a 33-inch high lift jack. Matt just randomly had this sitting at his house, so one of the times I was up there this month, I grabbed it and brought it back here, and we mounted it on the side of the trailer, so I've got at least one type of recovery. On this side, it's locked right now, but on this side we have storage for the gooseneck ball, so this is stuff that goes onto my truck, and then we have our vehicle tie-down straps here. This box is pretty much only going to store straps and tie-downs, chains, and things like that. Running along the side of the trailer, we did some 3/4 inch amber side markers. These side markers run with the running lights so that they're amber when the truck is on. More DOT tape, and we didn't have to add any of these additional shackles because I've got 3 of them along the length of the trailer, which is quite nice. Didn't replace the tires at all. It does need new tires, but we'll get to that, and we'll powder coat the rims and things like that at a later date. Didn't reinvigorate the ramps at all. We left those the way they were, but we've got the ramps all done. They're pretty sturdy enough. You can see some little missed paint spots here. When I had the ramps in a certain position, I didn't move them around for the painting. And it's kind of hard to see down here, but we've got the 2 LED lights for reverse lights, so that if I go put the truck in reverse, people behind me will see them in reverse. And then really tiny down here, these are our license plate lights. The license plate will mount here, and these are 2 very small license plate lights here that will work to illuminate the plate, which is what you need to be legal. And you can see the tail lights are tucked up back under there. Now, kind of looking through here a little bit, I'll take you guys underneath it. You might be able to see we've got all the wires ran. You can see some of the wires here as they like split off and stuff, but most of the wires are ran through wire loom. And moving up here, you can see that we've got, here is our solar panel. Here is our battery box mounted in. This is a 100 amp hour lithium battery that is going to run all the auxiliary stuff charged off of the solar panel for trickle charging. We've got all the wiring ran from up here, runs back this way and down, as you can see. On this side we have all of our winch controls. So we have a hard mounted winch in and out control, plug if you wanted to plug in the winch, and then this is the switch for the lights. Back over to this side we have our red handle, as you can see. Turned out pretty nice given that it is a old red handle that I also did not clean off. Kind of tucks in right there, which is quite nice. We got our other storage box, and then up here you can see the back of the battery box and the lights and the winch mounted at the top of the trailer. Same amber lights going from here, going down the whole length of the trailer with all the same tie down points. Still needs tires. That's it. That's the trailer.
Okay, so with that said, we've got a trailer completely refurbished and ready for work once it gets tires. It does need tires before I'm willing to haul anything on it. About 6 of them are good, 2 of them are really bad, but out of the 6 that are good, only half of them are all the same size, so it's mixed between 9.5s and 8.75s. I'm gonna go ahead and just buy a whole new set of tires, and we'll put a whole brand new set of tires on this trailer eventually, whenever I feel like I need to buy them or whenever I want to spend $1,000. These parts will get put out there once they're cooled off and I laser engrave the VIN and all that kind of stuff, and we'll get to that. I'll just do that off camera at some eventual time. Anyways, this trailer is going to be really great. It's going to do everything I need it to do. It's going to haul one of my 2 trucks at a time perfectly fine. I'm excited to have a gooseneck, and I'm excited to have a big trailer that can haul multiple vehicles, or at least like a full-size vehicle and a side-by-side or an ATV all at once behind my 350. Anyways, I hope you guys like this. Sorry it's been a little while since we had a video. Matt and I have been very busy recently, but we've been running the company with all the Amazon stuff and everything else we've been doing, so it's been a little hectic here recently, but I'm excited to get this done. Next video we're going to be working on is going to be on the Bronco. I'm going to be doing the whole build of the Bronco, the whole back end of the Bronco. So next few videos are going to be me finishing out the back of the Bronco for its overland setup. I hope you guys like this. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.